Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over obviously our weekly technical analysis of ZNOG, Zion Oil and Gas, and then we're going to take a look at the S&P 500. We're going to take a look at Amazon, IQST, as well as Tesla and NVDA to update you on some key support levels, and we're going to talk about what could potentially happen in the markets today. You may see some volatility, and I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to give you a website of what you can visit on the weekly to kind of check out major events that are coming out as far as data that can potentially shock the markets and potentially affect the price action of these particular stocks. So before we get into it, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure that you do your own research. Also, if you find value in the video, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know whenever you release new content. Other than that, let's dive right on into it. So ZNOG, Zion Oil and Gas, we had been talking about ZNOG, that's the possibility of it breaking below 21 cents. Just kind of off of no news, just breaking below there and coming down to about 17 or 18. Or if we got some news, it could have gone the opposite way, right? Bounced off of there and broke through 27 cents. 27 cents definitely still not off of the table. However, looking more like we're going to come down and potentially retest 15 before we even think about 27, just based on the silence of the company at this point. However, I think that we could see from 17.5 or 18 cents back to 21 or 22 would make for an interesting little swing play, and here's why. Because the RSI, we've broken below fair value. We're about to get into undervalued territory, which always signals a potential spike to the upside. And so this is on the 180-day 4-hour time frame. So see here, we broke below that support of 21.5, and now 0.1783 is your now support, and we're most likely going to get there. Now we just got to see if we bounce off of there and move higher. If we break below there, now you're flirting with the golden cross indicators crossing back over, and then really pushing this thing back down to the downside. All right, and that's what you want to be aware of. Okay, and if that happens, you're looking at pretty much giving away over time all the gains that you just had on this big run from 9 to 27 cents. Because once this blue line crosses over that pink line, chances are you're going to see some more selling pressure. We're going to come move down to the downside. If this starts to get closer together and we make some moves back up, like you saw here, okay, got closer together, and all of a sudden we bounced up, then you're going to probably see a really big move to the upside. But that's going to mean potentially that we have some type of update from the company. Now, the company did file their 10K. That's something that they have to do. If you go on, I'll link the website below of where you can go to look those type of that type of information up on really any publicly traded company. They also have, you'll see a Form 4 where they have some insider trading, but it's not what you think. It's not like these people are coming in and they're buying a lot of stock personally out of their own pocket. They're converting some things. It's I think it was code M on the most recent one on the 17th, which is just a conversion of a derivative. And so it's not, technically people coming in and buying a bunch of stuff, but however, it's good to keep up with those type of transactions. So yeah, so you can take a look at that. You can take a look at the 10K. I haven't really dove right into the 10K and looked for any really a lot of information, but if you'd like me to do that, just leave me a comment saying yes, and then I can make another video kind of dissecting it and looking at it, but I just haven't had time to do that as of yet. So we're moving on, and we're going to take a look at Tesla, kind of working in reverse here. So Tesla, low of 182, high of 488. I do think, depending on what the market data looks like today, Tesla really setting itself up for another leg up to the upside. Little bull flag pattern looking at forming here. We're kind of transitioning from bearish to bullish on the MACD. Now we just got to bust through 299. If we can get back to about $300, and then from there you're looking at 335, 371, 416, 488. Tesla's going to get back up here eventually. Okay, 100% agree it will. Just depends. It's only a kind of a matter of time. Depends on the market data, what comes out today of what the market really does. But if the market reacts positive, if the data is good with the GDP and everything, and I think it might be I forgot what it was, maybe CPI or PPI is coming out. If that's positive, you can see a little dip here, and if it bounces off at 247, it can go as low as 247 before it bounces up and then really comes back up. But I think that 300 is the big number that you're looking for. So if you got into Tesla at like 224 on the swing play, then really 299 that first go round, you could have taken profit. If it gets back to 299 and gets rejected, then you can take some profits off the table, because it's going to eventually come back down temporarily. But overall, it's going to continue to move regardless of if certain people don't want it to. So NVIDIA currently 111.58. It is undervalued at the moment on the 180-day 4-hour time frame. I do think we're going to come back down and test $100, worst case 104, and then possibly start making a recovery at that point. If it breaks below 104.18, then you're looking at about $90, 90 to 91. And so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this, and I'm watching at the moment. And because I'm wanting to add more to my position, and I think that I can get it at $100. And if I can get it at 100, great. And if it settles at 100, great, I'll get in. But if it breaks below there pretty aggressively, if it's a big sell-off at some point, then I'll wait for $100. I'm sorry, under $100, about 95 to 90. And then that'll be, where I kind of finish out my position at that point. But 114.78, your current resistance, and 122, 129, 138, and all the way to 153. But I think we're going to a minimum of $100. 104 to $100 range is where I think that we can go for NVIDIA. IQST, and again, this one's just going to kind of sit around on the bottom right here at about 14 cents. Nothing to get too excited about at the moment, and you really shouldn't until the market really decides where it's going to go, like the overall stock market, and this starts to kind of come back up. You really can't get too excited about this one until we get back at about the 20 to 25 cent level, in my opinion. And then once we get there, we can really start making some moves. But you got to break above all the way to roughly about 41 to 42 cents if you're going to really consider having this thing go to to that dollar, which is our price range. So if you believe in the company, now's a good time to add. If you break below this 14 cent mark, that'd be interesting, because you probably go 12 cents, 10 cents, something like that. We've been consolidating quite a bit around that 14 cent mark. So you're seeing people coming in and, kind of holding it up. So, but unless we really get some type of move soon on this, I think we could break below the 14 cent mark temporarily. However, I think you see some buyers coming in to hold it up about the 12 to 10, 10 to 12 cent range. So anyway, but ultimately you want to see it poke its head up and try to retest 20 cents and get above that. That would be really healthy for this stock here. Amazon overall tip top 242.52. Current support right at about 197. 207 is your next level of resistance, in 221. And if we get above 207, now it gets interesting, because once this blue line will cross over the pink again, it'll signal some type of move to the upside. And so if we can get to roughly closer to 220, even on a little pullback, we can bounce off at 207, and then we should be off to the races where we bust through that 242. So your next price target, if it can hold steady where it's at now, is about 250. Okay, but again, that's going to be dependent on the overall state of the stock market in general, which today will say a lot based on the data numbers that are coming out. And I will say that it's not really looking good, in my opinion, on the overall. Like if you zoom out on the overall longer term chart, I mean, this is still basically a longer term downtrend. Like in the market, you make higher highs on an uptrend, as you see here, higher highs, lower lows, and things of that nature, depending on the trend. So right here we're at 61.47. We went all the way down to 55.15, we popped our head up. And now if the data comes out and it's negative, can you imagine? I mean, this can break below 56.33, and then 55.12 is your next support. If it breaks below 55.12, you're going to go down to 53.39 most likely, and you could see a recovery there, or you could come all the way down to 51.19 where you started, and we basically gave away all of the gains from this date here, and so yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens, and I think it's going to be kind of dependent again on some of this data that comes out on what we do, because if that data comes out and it's negative, then you can believe we're going to sell off and potentially keep coming down. As you see, we're fair value here. The MACD, we're so close to crossing over from bullish to bearish, and if that happens, you're going to see, longer term, well, not necessarily too longer term, but it'll be a sell-off to where you'll see this, probably all day today, maybe carrying into Monday, of the market kind of coming down before we find some type of bottom. Now, another situation, if we do find support on 55.12, that can be a nice little W-shaped recovery double bottom pattern, which can slingshot us back and move back to the upside. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So let me show you the website I was talking about for you to keep up with the market data that I keep referring to. Alright guys, this is Forex Factory, okay? So if you just Google that, you can find what you're looking for here, and go to calendar, and then for some reason it keeps bringing me to December, but I just click on that, and then I'll go over to the arrow here, and it'll get me to March where I need to be, and it has like a little box around the current date. So if you go there and then you hit apply settings, and here we go. Alright, so let me explain what these folders are and why they're important. So this is all the stuff that's coming out, the time that it's coming out at, and we have, and it tells you who's releasing it. So this is Canada, this is USA, and you can see like all the other countries that might be releasing some type of information. And then you see the yellow, the orange. So the yellow folder, if you hover over that, says low impact expected on the market. The orange is medium impact, and when you get to red, high impact expected. So it'll tell you what the forecast is, and then it'll tell you what the previous was, and then once it's released, it updates to actual. Okay, so if this number is a 0.3, and then last time was a 0.2, if this comes back greater than last time, positive. If it comes back and it's a miss, then markets potentially react negative to that. And same thing here. So the previous was 0.3 for core PCE price, and then 0.3. Now if this comes in at higher, then that's going to spook the markets. You're going to see some volatility. You're going to see potentially a pretty a little spike down, a downward move in the markets. Okay, so anyway, so this is Forex Factory. Just wanted to give you an update, because if you're trading or looking to buy like one of the major blue chip stocks, and you're trying to figure out if it's a good day to buy in, and you want to keep up with that, that's a good website to be a part of. And you can just kind of take a look at what type of major events we may have coming up. So anyway guys, that's all I got for you in this one. Let me know your comments below, but other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.